It all started in the year 2003 after my engineering, where I started as an event manager. We do one reach marketing, and we have a second bucket called as the conversion marketing.
Now let's move on to a quick rapid fire kind of
Okay.
round. So I'll be asking you the core concepts of product marketing. You're going to simplify the terms. How does a SaaS product marketing differs from a traditional marketing role?
One is avoiding fluff. Second is ability to measure every activity. Third one, I always believe, is the terminology called CAR.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Beyond JD, the podcast where we uncover the real stories behind roles, growth, and hiring. In this episode, we are going to talk about the role that drives a software product to the market. This role is not only responsible for launching a product successfully, but also ensures that the product stays relevant and keeps growing in the market. Yes, that's a product marketer. And to share the practical insights about the role, we have a special guest, Prasan, Head of Marketing at Zoho. With over 18 years of experience in the marketing field, he is now leading the marketing team, not just one, but two of Zoho flagship products, Zoho Click and Zoho Meeting. Welcome, Prasan.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes. So, can you tell an overview about your career journey so far?
Thank you for the question. It all started in the year 2003 after my engineering, where I started as an event manager. So back then, the demarcation between sales and marketing was minimal. So what we were doing back then as marketing was both sales. So it was the pre-Facebook era, it was the pre-LinkedIn era, it was the pre-Instagram era. The concept of digital marketing was just a dream, or it probably was taking baby steps. So the database back then was the Yellow Pages book. What we now call as cold calling as a part of the business development process was actually the fulcrum, was the basic foundation in which all of us worked on. We'd pick the phone, take a list of numbers, call people, go directly to the office, wait in the lobby, find an appointment with the CEO or some decision maker, then do a presentation for them, then we'll come back. So that's how the whole process of lead nurturing happened. So it has evolved drastically in the last 23 years. And after the digital revolution, what we see right now is entirely different from what happened in the year 2003. Right now, I literally don't step out of my cabin. I just do everything online. So that's how it has evolved. I right now, as you said, I handle the marketing for a couple of Zoho products, and uh, kind of, we do end-to-end marketing. So if, when we as we proceed in this conversation, we I think we'll have more discussions regarding the roles that we do or the intricate details on the marketing activities that we perform.
So, what does a product marketer do? Can you explain it in simpler terms or maybe with a good analogy so that everyone can understand better?
Okay, a product marketing manager or a product marketing team as such, together with the product marketing manager, what we do is we actually take care of two things. If you are a student of marketing, if you have read Marketing Management book by Philip Kotler, or if you're a fan of Peter Drucker's Principles or Stephen Covey's Principles, you would probably go through the 5 steps of marketing or the 7 steps of marketing, starting with awareness, information, decision, and it goes on like that. But what we do invariably are only two things. We do one reach marketing, and we have a second bucket called as the conversion marketing. Whatever we do, whatever activities we do to reach the prospect is reach marketing. It could be probably SEO activities, SEM activities, all the demand generation activities which actually attracts a particular prospect so that they eventually land on your website. And the goal of reach marketing is pull in people from events where we go, or from the email campaigns that we do, or from social media marketing that we do. Ultimately, the goal is to make them land on the website. That's the goal of the reach marketing team, to reach the prospects. The second bucket, it's the conversion marketing. People will be landing on the website, yes, and we have to make them click that sign up button, take their credit card, pay for your product, and become your active customers. So that's basically conversion marketing. So it doesn't marketing doesn't end with people coming to your website. What you put on your website, how you put content on the website, how you actually position your product on the website actually matters. This is where marketer plays a beautiful role here, because most of the fights, most of the war between product managers and product marketers happen in
Yeah.
this particular phase.
Hmm.
As a product manager
Mhm.
or as a developer,
Mhm.
they would have developed 10 features in that particular product. But as a marketer, we shouldn't be putting all the 10 features. We need not put all these 10 features, because out of the 10 features, only two features or the benefits that we get out of two features might be useful for the person who is landing on your website to become a customer. So
Okay.
this is where we actually beautify the content. We actually layer it in a way so that they actually click that sign up button. So the whole area of making the prospect take a decision happens in the conversion marketing phase.
Mhm.
So different people call it using different jargon. I'll keep it as simple as reach marketing and conversion marketing. And everyone in the marketing team will either be in reach marketing or in conversion marketing. There's another third bucket, which is the retention marketing bucket. So in certain companies, retention marketing or the user education team are part of the marketing team.
Mhm.
In certain firms, they are kept separately. They are not part of the marketing team, but they are part of the customer success or the customer advocacy team. So they'll write help documents, they'll take the training material, webinars, they'll also take webinars, they'll do community road shows. They
Mhm.
just want to reduce the attrition rate of the customer. So basically, customer wins and reducing the customer attrition rate is the role of the third bucket.
Okay.
So what we do right now is reach marketing, conversion marketing, and retention marketing.
How does a typical day of a product marketer would look like? So, what tools you regularly use?
Okay, I was just talking about reach marketing. I was talking about conversion marketing. But let's, as the question is kind of pinpointed, we are getting into the intricate details of what marketing operational activity is. So let's take content marketing for example. When we say content marketing, people might, as of now, people are using the OpenAI tools to come up. Just they just give a prompt with a keyword. A 500 blog is ready, and they just post it as blog. And we see from all the LinkedIn posts that are available right now with the computer generated content, it's so difficult to find out whether it's actually
Yeah, yeah.
human generated or AI generated. The real tone, real voice is missing. So when you take the case of content writing, uh, anyone who is into content writing should have a definite grip of what SEO is, how to do SEM. And when I talk about SEO, it's not just about stuffing keywords into your content, it's also about knowing how to actually weave your keywords into your content, and to find out the strength of your keywords, to find out what keywords to use, what keywords not to use. You have to understand certain tools, definitely, as you are rightly asked. I use Keyword Planner, Google's Keyword
Mm-hmm.
Planner. I also use Ahrefs basically
Mm-hmm.
to find out the difficulty of how difficult it is to rank a keyword, or the keyword volume, how it's going to be. So to get an idea, I use that. You can also use BuzzSumo.
Mm-hmm.
There are tools like Uber Suggest, our own Indian tool, which is really helpful for users who just want to add it as a Chrome extension.
Okay.
There are, of course, a plethora of tools right now. We don't even have to use tools. You can just take a few keywords, put it on OpenAI, and say what is the keyword. That's going to give you how it is ranked compared to your competitors also. So basically, with respect to content marketing, probably these are some of the tools that we can use. SEMrush is another tool that we can use. And I'm not getting into detail about how to use each and every tool, but probably understanding what keyword to use absolutely matters. So this, I'm talking about only the point at to which we construct a blog
Mm-hmm.
and publish it. But after it is done, there are other areas. You have to take the blog and market it. It doesn't get solved with only adding a few keywords and posting a blog, because thinking, okay, people are gonna, this is gonna be crawled by Google, people are gonna land on a blog. No, you have to do other stuffs also. You have to push it across as through email marketing. You have to use the help of social media marketing for social media marketing again. Like now, if you are using social media automation tools like Hootsuite or Buffer, it's going to be really helpful. So these two tools I really love. I'm part of Zoho, so of course Zoho Social is another tool that we could probably use. And these tools are right now embedded with it's actually AI amplified, basically, because all you have to do is give your blog link, and this tool is going to give you suitable image of how it's going to be promoted on Insta or on LinkedIn or on Twitter. And it also gives you captions as well as post hashtags and everything that you need to actually to push this into the market. So that's regarding social media. And if you're a hardcore lead generating marketer, use the power of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And that is where the gold mine is. A sales navigator could be probably a first step in ABM, account based marketing, but there are a lot of firms which does help you with account based marketing totally. If you have the money power and if you have the armory to go into using a third party vendor to run your ABM show, you can do that. But that's again a tricky thing because we have lost a lot of money putting a lot of money into account based marketing. To give an example, to run a 1 month or 3 month campaign using ABM tools, third party tools, it will cost around $45,000, which is around 40 lakhs in INR. So that's the amount that we're talking about. And if you don't get enough leads, enough customers conversion, it's not safe to go to. So if you're a startup or if you're taking baby steps, account-based marketing might not be the way to go forward. But if you have learned the trick of the game, if you are a marketer with a lot of sales brain in you, then probably you can take the rest. And if you're so clear about ABM, get into it. Because if you know ABM, you will know how to use ABM's functionality and tie it up with your CRM. So ultimately, whatever lead that come into your bucket goes and gets stored into a CRM, and that's again, I use the word gold mine, and again that's again a gold mine. You have to know how to use the leads that are stored in your CRM, and if you know this, get into ABM. But for beginners, at least learn and understand the concept that such a thing as ABM exists. Eventually, you can get into it. So that's some of the tools that I use. That tools that I personally use are all integrated with the communication software that I represent. I'm part of this team called Zoholics.
Okay.
It's a communication software, yes, but it's more than a communication software because it does collaboration also. So the simple to-do list, the reminders, the star messages, the integrations with projects, the integrations with ticketing softwares where customers come and complain, and they actually come in and fall in as bot messages in Zoho. So I use this product to run my show, but it may not be the case with everyone. They might not be using this internal communication software to run the show. So the tools that I told right in the beginning with respect to content marketing, with respect to social media marketing, or with respect to ABM, or even email marketing tools. When you talk about email marketing, we can use tools like Marketo, Eloqua. I've used these tools. Constant Contact, that's another tool that we have used. In Zoho, we have the marketing automation tools that run like campaigns, Zoho campaigns that run the show. Even when do all these email marketing campaigns, ultimately we have to find a tool which has got good automation abilities. It is not about just sending a mail which lands in spam. So the tool that you select should have warming capabilities so that it lands on your inbox. The tool should have the capability so that the CTR rate is really high. The tool should have the capability so that it integrates really well with the CRM system that you have. It could be a Microsoft Dynamics CRM that you have. It could be a Sugar CRM that you have, or it could be a Zoho CRM that you have. So ultimately, if at the end of the day, if you know these tools and how they function, it's not about using the tools. It's about knowing why we use the tool and what metrics we are measuring with the tool. There are a lot of digital marketing agencies which tell you how to use these tools. Probably some of you might have used these tools, but knowing what to use, what tools not to use at all is absolutely necessary and important so that we don't waste time in spending a lot of time in unnecessary tools that are definitely not going to help us in our marketing campaigns.
Got it. That's a whole lot bunch of
I
tools.
think I
Yeah.
just I fed the whole haystack, I guess, like was all over the place. But yeah, eventually at the end of the day, this is
Yeah, that
yeah.
was really insightful. Okay, now let's move on to a quick rapid fire kind of
Okay.
round. So I'll be asking you the core concepts of product marketing.
Okay.
So you're going to explain each one maybe with a good analogy.
Okay.
You're going to simplify the terms.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, customer segmentation.
Segmentation, as the word suggests, is basically grouping your prospects, you're grouping your customers. For example, most of us are on Instagram. We would have posted a reel, we would have posted a picture of us. We might have tried to boost that image so that we get more likes, more followers for our Insta page. So when we boost it, automatically Insta takes it to the next step, which will tell us who is your customer segment, who are you actually targeting it to. So that will give us the groups. Do you want to target it to the male? Do you want to target it to women? Do you want to target it to this age group? Do you want to target it to people living in India or on Asia or in different parts of the globe? Do you want to target them into the demographic, all these demographics, or do you want to target these ads based on their interests? It might be a musical reel that you might be trying to push. If you're pushing it to people who are not interested in music, the money that you're going to spend on that boosting post is not going to help you at all. So it's basically segmenting your customers, grouping them, and finding which customer will be useful for your particular post. So customer segmentation is a terminology that we use. It's basically we call it as segmentation, targeting, and positioning. You take a customer segment, then you target your market, and then you position the message that you have. So basically that's the sequence that we have.
Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. GTM strategy, go to market strategy.
Yeah, the plans that you have to take your product to the market. I have a product, but probably you're the customer. How to take this product and that product has to reach you. The strategies that I use to make it reach you. That's the strategy. For example, back then, when I was growing up in the 80s, uh, the advertisements that used to come on TV, if it is a soap advertisement, people usually talk about, you probably remember the soap advertisements or Dettol or Hammam. They'll show a lens on your skin, lot of worms will be there.
Yeah.
Most of the worms will die, one or two worms will be still there. That's how people used to promote a soap ad. They kind of give the idea, this is going to make you clean, this is going to destroy all the germs that are going to hurt you. That's the messaging that was there for most of the ads that were coming in the market back then. Santur, Hammam, a few more, Chandrika, Margo, a few of the soaps that were available in the 80s. But back then, this soap came up with a totally different ad. They kind of broke the scene in the Indian market, making models taking a bath in a waterfall. Preeti Zinta shot into fame. Before she came into the movie industry, she had been a green bikini dancing in a shower. It was a taboo for most of the traditional families. They'll switch off the channel or they'll change the channel. But back then, Doordarshan, we couldn't have the facility to change the channel also. But they actually took it to a different level, saying it is all about celebration. Taking bath is all about celebration. There was a shampoo which kind of promoted the idea of bathroom singers, where the particular model was holding the shampoo and singing in the shower. So whatever we do at home, whatever we do while taking a bath, they were trying to relate it to us. So these were certain strategies people adopted when they took the product to the market. For example, Gillette ad. When I grew up, Kapil Dev was the captain of India. Then after Kapil Dev's era, it was Sachin Tendulkar who came to the being. Sachin Tendulkar, when he came in the year 1989, he was a 16-year-old guy with baby faced. His voice was not broken. His pitch was high pitched. He had a high pitched voice, and there was no facial hair for him. And during the 1992 World Cup or between 92 World Cricket World Cup and between 96 World Cup, Gillette came into the market. And if you have to choose a person to act in a Gillette ad, you probably would have used a person who had facial hair, who had a rugged face. But Sachin Tendulkar became the face of Gillette ad. The concept, the way they took the product to the market, so that is where marketers' creative ideologies come in. We might not even have thought about positioning Sachin as an ambassador for shaving blades, but here he was an ambassador of shaving blade, and he was still the ambassador, I guess, almost 20-25 years. He's still the ambassador for Gillette. So that's a totally different way how people take the product to the market. So in simple terms, GTM is nothing but taking a product to the market so that people remember you. As I spoke right now, when people talk about Preeti Zinta, people might be thinking about the movies that she acted in. I still remember the Gillette ad. Sorry, Little Soap. When people talk about Sachin Tendulkar, people talk about the centuries that he has scored, the laurels he had brought to our country. I remember the Gillette ad. That had a That's what GTM is all about.
Nice. So getting the product to the market in a most creative way.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. And all the strategies that you work around it, all the plans that you work around it, the money that you put into it, so that how you get the returns in a quick manner. So basically, GTM is all about reaching the customer.
Nice. Yeah. Sales enablement.
You have a marketing team, you have a sales team. Now, marketing team is all about creativity, all about colors, all about your metrics, your numbers. And sales team is all about they have to close the deal. They get 10 leads, they get 100 leads in a day. They have to close the deal. They have to make this prospect become a customer. But mostly what happens is in SaaS firms, marketer will be attached to a product, but mostly sales personnel might not be attached to a product. They might be having 10 to 15 products. They might not know these products in depth. So it is a marketer's role to enable the sales personnel to actually speak better. So sales enablement material or sales enablement collateral is nothing but enabling the sales arm to do better, to close the deals. And sales enablement can be in the form of a sales battle card, it can be in the form of a brochure, it can be in the form of a webinar, it can be in the form of a demo, it can be in the form of a sales navigator. Most sales personnel use sales navigator as the number one sales enablement material because it gives an idea about what your product is all about, how it stands compared to the other products in the market, what are the key differential factors that makes your product stand out, what are the benefits people will get, a couple of case studies in it, and the comparison charts with the competitors in the market. Everything will be in part of sales navigators and battle cards. And the marketer's role is to make the sales people talk in a way so that the prospects become customers, and that's what sales enablement is all about.
Nice. So the team which you mostly interact with is sales team. Maybe.
Basically the sales
Uh-huh.
team, yes. And sales team may not know this is what they have to present, so we have discussions around them. We tell them this is what we can pitch about a product. For example, I represent this product called Zoholics. Its competitors are Microsoft Teams and Slack. So if my sales personnel is going to pitch Zoholics to a prospect, they have to know how Zoholics stands in comparison with Slack and Microsoft Teams, and what is our elevator pitch. What are the challenges that people using internal communication tools face? How Zoholics is helping them solving those challenges? What are the benefits that they get? What is the pricing that this has? What is the time that is saved? What is the operational efficiency that is achieved using this product? Everything will be part of the sales enablement collateral, which is given to the sales team, which they use to convert prospects into customers.
Nice. Positioning and messaging.
Okay, you have got your segment. You know who to target. Right now, you have to position your message to that particular target audience. If you've seen the movie Bahubali, after the end of Bahubali 1, there was this positioning messaging statement that was all over the place through FMs, through the newspapers, through social media, and that was, why did Katappa
Killed
kill
Bahubali.
Bahubali? Of course. So that messaging lingered, and that acted as a teaser for everyone to watch Bahubali 2. Even though they had a big, magnificent teaser and trailer, even if they experienced the brilliance of Bahubali 1, this one liner acted as a cue for people to watch the Bahubali 2. So, similarly, whatever we release, whatever product we take into market, if it has a strong messaging, that will linger with people. Mostly, messaging revolves around the captions that each and product has. If you talk about Nike, what comes into your mind? Just do it. So similarly, all the captions are the messaging statements that will take this product to the customer.
So mainly you're telling about taglines.
Taglines. Taglines is a part of it.
Okay.
But you're talking about even the elevator pitch, the boilerplate, if the content that you post on the website, it starts from the tagline, it starts from the caption, but it's basically the messaging,
Right.
the tone that you use, how you want to, your product to be perceived by the audience. That's basically the messaging. That's part of this whole deal.
Nice. I remember the line when we remember about soap, we will be getting the line Hamam irka bayame.
Yeah, so
So
true. Yeah,
the catchy
yeah,
words like that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Product adoption and growth.
So you it's basically product adoption. People have come to your website, they've clicked that sign up button, they adopted the product, they're onboarded, they have become your customers. Right now, they have to stay and they have to become your loyal customers. Just not loyal customers, they have to become your advocates, they have to become influencers, they have to become the evangelists of your product. All the activities that you do to make a proper customer to an advocate is product adoption and growth. But what happens right now is we find out all the fake reviews, bloated influencers who come and talk by getting money. If you go to Google reviews, you get all the same review posted by different people because it's become a money game. It's become a totally inorganic game. So you have to think a lot on it. You have to do research on whether it's actually a proper customer advocacy. It is a proper review given by a customer who's actually an evangelist of the product or not. Those detective work also has to be done. But ultimately, it's basically making the customer stay with your product and grow with you is what happens in the product adoption and growth stage.
Nice. Competitor analysis, the final one. Yeah.
If you go to any website, uh, most of the product firms will have a competitors page. It's also called as the alternate page. As I said before, Zoholics has an alternate page for Slack, Microsoft Teams, and if you have a watch, Titan for that matter, they might have an alternate page of Titan is better than XYZ products.
Right.
So what happens is you will see 2-3 columns and lot of features. For example, mobile phones. If you if you buy a mobile phone on Flipkart and Amazon, what we immediately do is find out mobile phones in that same price and try to find out the battery percentage of other products, compared
The
products in that
characteristic
category.
comparison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll try to find out reviews on YouTube and things like that. That's what actually happens when we actually do a competitive analysis. Find out how you rate yourself or how your product is compared to other products in the market. People might call it as a SWOT analysis, as simple as that. But basically, how your product is relevant to the customer and how it is relevant to the customer compared to the others in the market is what actually matters. But what happens is when you go to any company page, they'll they'll have 10 features listed, they'll have their product, they'll have two other products, all the green tick marks will be for their product, all the other products will have X red marks and things like that. So eventually they might have chosen 10 features which has stands better with the other products, but there might be other 10 features in which red marks might be there for this product. So when we do a competitive analysis, when we add an alternate page, when you do a competitor page, it's sometimes it is better to be really true. Even if you have two X marks for you, it's okay because customers are not fools anyways these days because they are going to do a lot of research before they get in and buy your product. Sometimes if we don't have, it's better to say we don't have.
Nice. Okay. So we have come to the end of rapid fire
Okay.
round. So
I converted the rapid fire into a holistic
no.
vegan thing. Yeah, but I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was insightful. Most of us, when we hear about the term marketing,
Yeah.
I remember the terms like banners, events, promotions, picture ads.
Okay.
But a software product, the SaaS product marketing differs, right? So
Okay.
how does a SaaS product marketing differs from a traditional marketing role?
Ultimately, we are taking the product to the market. So
Okay.
be it services marketing, be it product marketing, be it SaaS marketing, be it traditional marketing, the basic fundamental principles of marketing applies. Back then, what happened in traditional marketing was you had a product, you take the product and give it to the customer. They will buy it. They become your customer. So in the product growth stage, they adopt your product, they become your customer, and then comes the place where the decay happens. After 5 or 6 years, they are not your customers anymore. For example, you buy a TV, Bush TV. Back then we had a Bush TV back in our house. So we had that Bush TV for 10 years. After that, the market was, after we were done with Bush TV, we went for another TV.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in SaaS marketing is, take the case of, to give an example, I'll go back to the OTT platforms that we have.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon Primes or the Hotstars, Geo Hotstars, or the Netflix or the Sony Live that we watch. Uh, we have got a lot of options to use this. We can take a monthly plan, we can take a one device plan, we can take a multiple device plan, we can take a quarterly plan, we can take an annual plan. It's the same case with SaaS product also. There is a way where we can take a monthly plan, and or we can become a repetitive user by taking an annual plan and save money also. These options are given by SaaS products basically to lock us and make us stand with them in the long run. So if they push the product in a one price package, say $1,000, we might not even buy it. But if they say just pay $1 and become a customer, we might be using that for n number of years. Probably the first year we might be paying $1, second year it might be $2, third year we might be paying $25, and we might end up paying more than the $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But what has happened with this particular strategy of recurring payment is basically getting to the retainer stage.
Mm-hmm.
Is we become a long-standing customer. So that's the basic level in which SaaS marketing differs from traditional marketing, is the ongoing long-term customer relationship management. Because this idea of customer relationship marketing is in SaaS marketing.
Important question.
Yeah.
So, with the rise of AI,
Yeah.
AI is transforming almost every industry and every role. So,
Okay.
how do you see this product marketing role is going to evolve with the rise of AI?
Okay. When I started again, like let me just not start with AI.
Okay.
I'll take the example of Hammam soap itself, because we used this example a couple of times. We are not doing promotion for Hammam, I guess, but still, back then, Hammam was seen as a family soap.
Okay.
Every home had hammams. Every lodges had Chandrika. So some of, even right now, I guess,
Yeah,
you go to lodges or hotels,
we have.
we'll have Chandrika. Homes had hammams. So before shampoos or the chick shampoo, which was promoted by C.K. Ranganathan, I guess, Calvin Klein. So before that came into the market, hammam soap was also used by people for hair.
Mm.
So, but eventually, what happened was, we soaps came into the market. We have soaps for dry skin. We have soaps for oily skin, sensitive skin. Same case with shampoo. What was used as shampoo eventually became dry hair, frizzy hair, hair loss, dandruff hair. We had all these different of types of shampoos coming in. Then shampoos was again divided into, we had shampoos, we have conditioners, two in one came to the being, and the market kind of evolved. So the reason why I use this analogy is basically to drive its parallel with marketing. It was marketing to start with. Marketing and sales went hand in hand. Then people understood the difference between marketing and sales. Marketing enabling sales, sales closing the deals.
Mm.
And right now, different firms started having different verticals or different teams within this itself. It became demand marketing, it became lead marketing, lead generation marketing, content marketing was a part of it, and we in even in sales there is inside sales. Basically, your email data crunching team, they scrub the data, they actually send emailers. BD is part of the inside sales team where they make cold calls, and they have pre-sales right now. All the demos are done by the pre-sales team, and the sales team kind of closes the deal. After the sales, the post-sales activities also happen, where your customer success team, your customer advocacy team, or your user education team, or your support team, customer support team comes and makes them as long-term customers of yours, basically reducing the attrition rate. So it started as marketing, but right now it has all these different functions. Right now, AI is part of all these functions.
Okay.
The reality is, AI definitely will hamper or will take its toll on a few jobs, yes. And that is why we have to constantly upgrade ourselves with the latest AI tools in the market. If I talk with a few people who are into content writing, they started using ChatGPT when ChatGPT came into the picture last year. And if I ask them, do you use any of the tools? No. They still use ChatGPT for writing content, also for image generation. There are other tools whether you use Grok, whether you use Gemini AI, which is gaining popularity because of its usage in Instagram images these days, or Airtel is bringing its 1 year plan with perplexity. So how you use these tools, the kind of prompts that you give these to these tools, and how you learn about prompt engineering absolutely matters in the era of AI, and it's going to definitely be problematic for those who don't upgrade themselves, but who keep on upgrading themselves, who are interested in continuous learning. AI is going to be a complementary tool for us. That's what I personally believe in. But we are, yeah, personally speaking, we do not know what's going to happen, because when I was using Orkut back in those days, I was making the statement there would not be any social media uh, tool that's going to be as strong as Orkut. Facebook came, Orkut literally disappeared. Instagram came, Facebook, except for our parents who are 60 plus, nobody is on Facebook. I shouldn't make a blanket statement in saying nobody. Very less people are on
Yeah.
Facebook. Most of us are on Instagram. So I'm kind of making a statement. AI is going to help us. We do not know. AI might take a lot of jobs. It might affect us. We do not know where the future holds, where the future is going to be. But the only thing that I would say is continuously learn, continuously upgrade yourselves.
If you want to list top 3 must have skills or key strengths or
Okay.
interest,
Okay.
which would ensure someone that they can excel in that role,
Okay. In marketing.
in
Okay.
product marketing, what would
Okay.
it be?
One is avoiding fluff, avoiding jargon. People talk a lot of jargon these days. I see a lot of podcasts. I see a lot of marketing gyans, and people talk a lot of jargons. I might have listened to a 30-minute speech. At the end of the day, when I try to take key takeaways from them and try to apply in my marketing operations, there might not be anyone. It will all sound so rosy. So the first skill for a marketer is avoid fluff, because marketers are usually seen by other departments like developers or testers as these guys just talk fluff. So we have to take that idea away. We have to make sense, and we have to go deeper into the subject, not just talkers but doers. That's the first point. And the second is ability to measure every activity. Whatever we do, whether we write a social media caption, whether we write a blog, whether we're doing an email campaign, or whether we're writing a website, or whether we are actually doing lead generation through any other means, every activity that we do should be measurable. If you are not measuring any activity, we have to question ourselves why we aren't doing it. So first one is avoiding fluff, going deeper into each and every single subject that we talk about, not always staying on the surface level. And second is always measuring whatever we do. And the third one I always believe is the terminology called CAR. CAR. C stands for communication, A stands for accountability, stands for responsibility.
Nice.
Be clear in what you communicate, and if you're not able to do your tasks on time, if you're not able to converge your tasks within the timelines, communicate properly. Second is accountability. You are accountable for the tasks that you do. A social media manager is accountable for the posts that they post, accountable for the reputation management points that they have to take. An email campaign manager is accountable for that role that they are supposed to do. They should have the account. They should take accountability for their actions. And third is responsibility. They should be responsible. And when CAR is there, and if they also avoid fluff, and if they measure everything, they will be a very strong force to reckon with as a product marketer.
Nice, very well put. Actually, I learned a new framework today, car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming to Zoho, how would I
Okay.
miss talking about
Okay.
this? Because I started my career in Zoho.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I worked there for almost 5.5 years.
Super. Okay.
When I look back, I get a lot of memories. I used to dance in the stages. I was part of a Zoho dance crew.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice. They're still
And
going strong. Yeah.
yeah.
Selva, shout out for you. Yeah.
I
Oh,
was actually a
nice.
founding member. I
Wonderful.
pushed
Okay.
Selva to start. Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
And be it playing carom,
Okay.
TT,
Nice. Okay.
and cricket. We
Okay.
have many fests, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, food.
That's
Yeah.
part of Zoho's culture.
Yeah.
Zoho, yeah. True that.
Above all that, Zoho is meant for people first culture, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just one quick leadership question to you. How do you ensure your team stays motivated and creative all the time. Like, because creativity and standing out of the crowd, like thinking out of box, is
Okay.
very crucial for this product marketing role, I guess.
Absolutely.
So, how do you ensure your team is creative all the time? So, how do you create that stronger work environment, happier work environment without compromising on the productivity?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in any team, when there are two people, of course, there will be difference of opinions. We might have synergy to work with, but we are two different people from different backgrounds, with different thinking capabilities, with different skill set, with different ambitions and goals. But eventually, we are in the same team. So, even when there are two people, when there are difference of opinions, when there are more people, there will be definitely politics involved. And we have to ensure that politics can stay, but dirty politics should not be there. As in, whenever a person is appreciated, sometimes some people get jealous, and there are people who might come and backbite and bitch about the others in the team. They might actually throw a negative tantrum against. So, as a manager, we shouldn't encourage one person coming and getting special treatment from us and
No
the others.
favoritism.
Absolutely, that's the thing. So that should be there, as in everybody in the team members should trust their managers, thinking this person is not going to show favoritism. So that trust should be built by the manager. The onus lies on the manager. We can't expect the team members to strongly believe in us if we show favoritism. If we show favoritism, that's gone. So that's the thing. Second is they should have this CAR. They should communicate well. They should take accountability. They should be responsible for their actions. So, when these three things are done by a person in the team, we don't have to follow up with them. The problems between managers and team members happen when managers start following up with them. Sometimes following up might be seen as micromanagement, because managers might follow up with certain people even before the timeline. When they feel a particular person is not having a proper communication, they might follow up with that particular person. But another person who doesn't need follow up, this manager might not even follow up with the other person. But from the other spectrum, the other person might think, okay, this person is not following up with him or her, but he's only picking up on me. That might be because of the actions that particular person might have done in the past, of not having a proper CAR, which might have made this manager to follow up. So, so we might not, we shouldn't make the manager follow up with them. We should be on top of our game as a team member. We should be on the top of our game to complete our tasks in a better manner.
So it's more about a personal discipline, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Personal discipline is, of course, necessary. With respect to time, we don't have a strict time. 9 to 6 is not followed anyways. But if you are able to maintain a work discipline with respect to time, it will be helpful, especially when you start a career, with respect to finishing a task on time also. Ultimately, I think we talked about Zoho. So Zoho's ethos starts with praise in public, correct in private. But if that doesn't happen, if a manager is shouting at a team member in the floor, that means the work culture is not followed in that particular team. So always correct people in private, always praise them in public. And if we find out there is a troublemaker who is a weed, who is actually a problematic thing for the team, it is better to let them go also, because ultimately the team matters.
The top three things which I get from you is no favoritism, no micromanagement, and give your negative feedback in private.
Yeah. So the thing is, when you micromanage processes, you don't have to micromanage people. As in, when you have a proper process set, if you have to deliver a project in 10 days, the project should start in the first day. It should have reached this level on the third day. It should have gone to testing on the seventh day, and it's reaching the engineering release on the 10th day. If we have a proper process like that, and if a manager and the team micromanage these processes, we don't have to follow up and micromanage people.
Right.
What happens is, people don't micromanage processes. Ultimately, they sit on the head of people, they start micromanaging people. That's where the problem starts.
Product marketers are the main characters at Zoholics event, right?
Mostly yes, but what happens is, as it is a user community event, right now we also have PMs coming into the picture. We also have support personnel coming into the picture. We have sales personnel coming into the picture. It used to be a part where only marketers used to present in Zoholics, but it's right now a mix of everyone presenting in Zoholics.
Okay.
But yeah, majority are marketers. Yes.
Maybe you should explain what Zoholics event is all about, because few of them
Okay.
might not know. Yeah.
So Zoholics, when you talk about events in IT firms, there are two kinds of events. One is the proprietary event. One is the industry event. Industry event are the events that you participate, represent Zoho. There will be stalls, lot of different firms come in, conferences, trade shows, and things like that. But proprietary event is our own event. Zoho's proprietary event is Zoholics. It's basically run for our own customers. It's basically run for our own partners to actually talk about the different features, the different upgrades, how our products have moved forward, and how the direction the company is also taking. So we are present all over the globe. So Zoholics happen in all the different continents that are available. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, we had a Zoholics in UK. So all the customers and partners in UK attended that event. So a lot of us representing Zoho products went to UK. We presented our products. We had our experience centers where people came and experienced about how these products actually work. People had these queries with them as long-standing customers. They had their workshops. They had their one-on-one sessions. So every customer pain point and challenge are covered, and solutions are provided basically in Zoholics.
Can you share one memorable incident of yours where you worked on a campaign and it went successful? One happy moment in Zoholics.
Happy moment. Zoholics is always happy because we go to different countries, we meet different people, different cultures. We are always wary about the do's and don'ts in different cultures. Certain gestures, certain words that we use in India might not be suitable in different cultures. We have to be extremely cautious about that. So we learn about that. So it's just not about one particular instance. It's a constant learning thing wherever we go, especially in countries where translations are there. That is where I mostly think like, no, I'm talking this particular sentence in 3 words, but the translation is going on for 20-25 words. I remember the movie with Dhanush where he stays a statement in Telugu, I guess, and the translation goes on and go on. Vivek and Dhanush movie. So all those incidents happen in our mind, but ultimately, what we found out is Zoholics has helped bridge the gap between us and the customers.
One final important question: how to get into Zoho? Your tips, please, for many aspirants who are dreaming to get over there.
So, of course, this is one thing because I'm active on LinkedIn. So, whenever I post anything, my inbox is full of people who send their resumes across. I don't ghost them, I respond to those things. But the problem is, everybody will be like, refer me, refer me, refer me. We can refer a person only if you know the person. Because in references, when it comes to Zoho, references are given importance again.
Internal references.
Internal references are given importance again because we can refer a person who we can vouch about. So when I refer a person, that resume gets into the system, and the person who's going to recruit them or interview them will think Prasan has given a reference point to this particular person. So this particular person might be very skillful in XYZ region. But when they interview them, and if they do not match any of these things, my value to give reference goes really down. So next time I give a reference, they might not even take my reference in. So when you ask for people for references on LinkedIn, do not just send a friendship request, directly get into a reference point of mode. You build your LinkedIn profile. You talk about your skills. Because when I go and see these people's LinkedIn profiles, it is empty. No posts, no comments, no engagements, no activities. I wouldn't have a clue on what these people are capable of. Some of these LinkedIn profiles don't even have an image, profile picture. I do not know whether they are actually catfishing, whether they are man or woman. I do not know that also. And the question you asked was how to get into Zoho. So a lot of us have this question. I got into Zoho 6 years ago. So right now this is my 21st year in corporate life. So probably I got into Zoho after 14 years of my corporate journey. This is my seventh firm, and I was trying for Zoho for many years. Eventually, I landed in the year 2019. All these years that I failed to land into Zoho was basically because I had this question: how do I land into Zoho? Because I kept Zoho as the bigger thing, I kept myself as a smaller thing. I was trying to fine tune my resume to a particular job role that Zoho had, to a particular job responsibility list that Zoho had, and I was not being true to myself. For example, if Zoho advertises a marketing analyst position, they will have a job role, they'll have job requirements, 10 requirements, and what I'll do is I'll fine tune my resume to fit into all these requirements. I might not even fit into these requirements. My aim or my goal would be something else. But just to get into Zoho, I'll fine tune my resume. I have faltered many a time. So, to answer this question, I shouldn't try to keep Zoho as a bigger thing, trying to match my resume to these skills, but upgrade my skills and position myself. If I'm looking for a job as a product marketer in Zoho, or a marketing analyst in Zoho, or a technical writer in Zoho, or a content writer in Zoho, or a digital marketing analyst in Zoho, I'm talking about different roles in the marketing team in Zoho. If I'm looking at these options, I should upgrade my skills so that I'm really good in all these areas. Back then, 5 years ago, we had this concept called M-shaped marketer, T-shaped marketer, V-shaped marketer, where people are at the surface level in many areas, but they'll go deep in one of these concepts. I might be very good social media marketer, but I might know bits and pieces in all these areas. But with all the learning tools available right now, with all the certifications available right now, we can get a deeper understanding on all these verticals. And marketing is not rocket science, it's so simple. We have to know how to upgrade ourselves, and we have to upgrade ourselves and position ourselves so that Zoho searches for you. There are cases in which I have found people in my team, by the way they actually position themselves. Get hundreds of resumes. The people I've selected are people who had positioned themselves properly on social media. So
Nice.
that is the difference. If that is the mindset, you might be bigger than Zoho.
That was an interesting perspective. That was a power packed conversation and full of insightful conversation with Prasan. Thank you so much, Prasan.
It's a pleasure talking with you, Soumya.
Yeah.
I think I went on and on and on. So take it with a pinch of salt, whatever I talked. Whatever is useful for you, audience, take it. Remaining thing, just chew the bone and leave it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. All the best for your career.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss when we cover your favorite role. Thank you.